So, after almost a decade and a half of theories, and also speculations, wishful thinking from the community, myself included of course, Clan Imperium Games has finally unveiled the Anvil Odin. Originally tied to one of Star Citizen's oldest stretch goals back in 2013, the Odin has now officially emerged as what may become the most ambitious player-ownable military vessel ever introduced in Star Citizen. And after the recent Star Citizen Live alongside a newly released RSI information page, we now have a much clearer idea of what this monster actually is. The first thing that stands immediately out of is the sheer scale of the ship. The Odin measures an astonishing 752 meters in length, and it has a beam of 222 meters and a height of 213 meters. This places it well above the Aegis Javelin in overall volume and presence. The ship is not only large, it is an entirely different category of military platform designed to navigate fleet engagements through overwhelming sustained force rather than quick tactical strikes. What makes the Odin especially interesting is that we are really going to get, for the first time in the game, a true battlecruiser. The developers even described the vessel as a frontline assault platform. The emphasis was always on the aggressive fleet spearheading, anti-capital warfare, and long-duration deployment deep in hostile space. This becomes obvious when looking at its large weapon package. The Odin officially carries 23 turrets. These include 2 size 12 mine turrets, 3 size 10 mine turrets, 8 size 10 remote turrets, that's absolutely insane, 8 size 8 man turrets, 2 size 8 man turrets once again, and also 42 point defense turrets, which this thing is absolutely insane. On top of that, the ship mounts 10 size 12 torpedo tubes, immediately placing it among the most dangerous anti-capital platforms in Star Citizen roster. However, the biggest talking point by far, I would say, is its spinal weapon. During Star Citizen Live, the developers carefully avoided fully explaining its nature. When asked about the weapon, one of the devs jokingly answered that the size is a yes size, intentionally sidestepping questions regarding the XI classification of the gun. What is officially confirmed is that the Odin features a pilot-controlled spinal weapon made of 12 beams mounted directly along the ship's forward axis. At this moment, CIG has not officially clarified whether this weapon is going to be a beam laser, a railgun, a cannon, or if it's something entirely new. It looks like 12 different laser beams. It's really weird. The community, of course, assumes that this is a beam weapon, not just myself, due to the similarities of the Idris' famous spinal laser, but the developers clearly seem to enjoy keeping that mystery alive for now. Regardless of its final classification, the implications are massive. A pilot-controlled size 12 spinal mount fundamentally changes how the Odin may behave in fleet combat. If that is size 12, we don't even know the size. But this is not a passive artillery platform sitting behind the front lines. The Odin appears designed to aggressively push into combat zones and directly engage enemy capital ships heads on. And yet, despite all of this firepower, the Odin is not purely a gun platform. One of the most fascinating revelations from both the RSI page and the Star Citizen Live was the ship's hangar configuration, which, by the way, I predicted in a video that I made about what the Odin could be. Check out my historic of videos in the video section. You find this video quite interesting. The Odin officially contains 7 hangars integrated directly into its hull. This immediately sparked some immense discussion because the ship is not classified as a carrier, although I am not surprised, I called it here on the channel. The developers strongly imply that these hangars are not intended for massive fighter swarm operations like the Bengal carrier, but instead appear focused on operational support craft, escort fighters, as well as perhaps some ships that are going to be useful for boarding. Based on concept imagery shown during the reveal, players identify multiple side-mounted launch bay mirrored across the hull, alongside what appears to be a hangar at the back of the ship. Some observers even notice indications of stacked internal hangar structure, suggesting vertical ship traffic flow and advanced launch coordination systems inside the vessel. This aligns perfectly with the broader role CIG described for the Odin. The ship increasingly feels less like a conventional warship and more like a fully mobile military operating base. That impression becomes even stronger once cargo and crew capacity are considered. The Odin carries an impressive 8,000 SCU of cargo space and requires a minimal crew of about 30 personnel to be fully operational. This is absolutely insane, and this shows that this ship is designed for organizations rather than small groups or sole players. I don't even think we have enough people at the Iraq Club to handle such a ship. The overall philosophy behind the ship is becoming increasingly clear. The Odin is not meant to replace smaller capital ships like the Polaris or the Javelin, but instead it appears to sit above them as a strategic fleet command platform capable of maintaining prolonged military presence far away from resupply hubs. Everything about the ship supports that vision. The heavy armor focus, the extensive point defense network, the spinal anti-capital weapon, the torpedo armament, the hangar, the cargo storage, and the enormous crew requirement all point towards one thing here: persistent large-scale warfare. And hopefully we'll be able to respawn in the ship. Let's say we leave in the ship, it's not even our ship, but we are part of the group, we can respawn inside. Maybe it will be tied to organizational ownership. That would be nice as well. And all of that is actually very important because for years, Star Citizen larger ships often felt like isolated concepts disconnected from broader gameplay systems that did not exist yet. But the Odin feels different. It feels like a ship designed especially for the future version of Star Citizen that we are going to have. The CIG has been building for years now. One centered around engineering gameplay, fleet logistics, territorial warfare, and organization-scale military operations. In many ways, the Odin represents the clearest glimpse yet at Star Citizen's true endgame and the pinnacle of concept ships, combining together everything CIG has learned and developed into one single package. After 13 years of waiting, speculation and anticipation, the Anvil Odin is finally real, and judging by everything we have learned so far, it may become one of the most significant ships ever introduced into the Star Citizen universe, and it's definitely the ship that made us break the $1 billion barrier in terms of funding, so I guess that people are really interested in that ship. Anyway, that is all for today. Let me know what you guys think about the Anvil Odin. Did you manage to get one for yourself? Has CIG sent you the letter? They blacklisted me, so I didn't get it, didn't get a chance at all, so I'm not gonna have any of those. Hopefully we'll be able to earn it in game, maybe not via Wikilo, but via other means. That will also be great, right? But that's obviously another topic for another day. If you enjoyed the content, as always, please let me know with a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this one. I've been the Eradicator, and I'll see you guys in the next one.